really want to take a few moments to talk about the importance of unity and community. What's good, y'all? I'm LoneeAppleton. I am a healthy family advocate. I advocate for the healthy deconstruction and reconstruction of our family for the greater good of our community and our society. And that's what I really want to get in today, because there is a caste system, say that 5 times fast. There is a caste system within the Black community. Now, this is a multitude of different conversations and experiences coming together, so I'll be drawing from all of that. In short, when they brought us over, wherever our ancestral roots come from, once we got on American soil, we just became Black. African Americans, Negroes, and worse. But as they bought and sold us and probably traded us in business deals, I'm sure some humans were traded, but as they bought and sold us, they placed us in different spaces within their society where our labor was needed. Our bodies were needed because, let's keep it G, it wasn't just our labor they were taking advantage of. Depending on the exposure that we had in our duties, depended on how they grew us into their societal expectations. Couple that with because some of us are descendants of free Blacks, like your ancestors were never enslaved, so your ancestors in themselves had different opportunities than, say, the individuals whose ancestors were slave. No matter how beautiful their slave experience may have been, enslavement experience may have been, they still experienced something that was degraded compared to a free Black American. Now, this is messed up. Y'all know I be coming with the theories. Just pick up what I'm putting down, because this is coming from a bunch of different places. The point that I'm making is that everybody has a different starting place, and in that different starting place, even though we are all enslaved people, we are all melanated people, Black American people, we all have different starting places. So an enslaved person is not just an enslaved person. A Black person is not just a Black person, is my point. Now, once freedom was granted to the Black American people, we have to look at what the American dream was. Well, the American dream was equality. Well, what is equality truly? Equality is the same rights as the majority. Who's the majority? White Americans. And we can break down white with, there's caste systems within the white social structure as well. It's not just white. So there's a lot of, if we want to really figure this thing out, there's a lot that goes into this, and this is just a recent revelation. So equality is to become white adjacent, to be able to live like the white people do. So we have to think about, I've heard someone say on multiple occasions, I'm listening to MLK's, one of his biographies, this education system was not created for Black child success. Yet our children are expected to go into this system, and we're talking modern day now, our children are expected to go into this system, with many of us as parents not preparing our children to go into this system, i.e. ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, being able to read before you make it to kindergarten. I started teaching Caden how to sit crisscross applesauce and sit still, because I knew I didn't want my child to be the kid who did not know how to sit on the rug during circle time. That is the preparation that we should be having for our children in order for them to enter into their system. And again, now we're in a space of caste systems. There is a child who knows how to sit on the rug. There is a child who knows how to learn. There is a child who, and then there is a child who is just, hey, nuck if you buck. And that child's experience is going to be different than this child's experience is going to be different than this child's experience. Now, all these experiences of these children become adults who now go into this society, and we are all grouped together historically, present day, as Black people. But we're not simply Black people. We come from all these different backgrounds. We come from all these different castes, isms, classes. And it is very difficult for you to go from this level to this level because each level holds a bias towards the other level. Some of us are able to go from this level to this level, and because of that, you have empathy for this level. But many of us, because of the benefits of our ancestors that others may not have had, I don't want to use any type of romanticized language or glorification. Was the shit and the shit was real. But some were afforded other opportunities than other, and when they transferred their opportunities to their legacy, they transferred the love of knowledge, they transferred the entrepreneurial spirit, they transferred the articulation, they transferred the hustler spirit, they transferred deception, they transferred whatever tool they use for success in their lifetime. They transferred, if they were aware enough to transfer intentionally, they transferred that to the next generation to maintain their standing in society. And they probably transferred the bias of the people who weren't doing in hoity-toity as they were hoity-toitying. And you ain't got to be all the way up there to look down on somebody. You could be right where I'm at and be like, he said you is instead of you are. Y'all, my skin crawl every time my husband say you is. And then my son started saying you is. I was like, no, son, you are. So now let's talk about the importance of community, because if I just came on here and told you about the importance of community, you may or may not understand why it's important. But if I tell you the reason why we do not have community is because we come from all these different spaces and we're told to look down on those unless we are able to bring ourselves up. So now we have a place of empathy, but we have to understand that we are all Black Americans. The only way that we truly will succeed is if we feed into each other and we teach each other. Gone need to be the days where we look down on somebody because they don't speak the way that we speak. Teach them how to speak like you, and also be open to somebody teaching you. Babe, you know it's not you is, right? It's you are. And I say that with all love and respect. I'm not demeaning you. I just want you to know. So if you wanted to speak proper English, there you go. So we need to be receptive to someone who may know something that we don't know, but we know that there is growth potential because we're all stunted. Think about a baby who has never seen the sunlight. You bring that baby into the sunlight, that baby's going to move a little bit different than the baby that's been born in the sun. But we need sunlight. So the baby that was born into the sunlight is not going to look at the baby who just came into the sunlight like, you've never had sun. No, you're going to be like, yo, let me show you how we move in the sunlight. And we need to do that as a people, because the only way that we will overcome is together. Together, together, united, period. So there are caste systems, but they are not only in place because of our present day choices. Remember, I'm a motherless, fatherless child, and my starting point was at nothing. I taught myself everything, and I've taught myself from trial and error. I've taught myself from people willing to teach me, not, oh, you said the wrong thing, now I'm going to stop talking to you, and I can no longer receive that education. I need to be taught. I need exposure. I need people willing to say, hey, this is how you move in this room, and I can then choose, do I want to move that way? But if people are automatically like, oh, you misstepped, next, like, we've got to stop having such a short allowance for the learning process for someone who is willing to learn. I'm willing to learn, but I have to have someone who's willing to teach me. I've had so many people who will say they'll be a mentor to me, where the conversation starts at, they'll be a mentor to me. Just because you were born into it, you worked yourself into it, you've got to be willing to transfer that knowledge. That is the only way that we all become equal. The goal isn't to become equal to them. The goal is for us to become equal to each other, and the only way that we achieve equality is if we're willing to each one teach one, remove the judgment of social status, and remove the caste systems. That's the point.